Evening, y'all. Thank you for bearing with me. I've been I'm grateful for the few that are still here and viewing. Whether you comment or not, that's on you. I appreciate it though. I don't blame anybody that don't want to be here either because, frankly, I haven't had a whole lot to talk about that's constructive. But let's touch on that. There's been a little bit of an evolution in my life where, long story short, I thought being a firearms instructor would be a good thing for me. A lot of people thought so too. So I went through USCCA. I got certified as a defensive shooting fundamentals drill instructor level 1. I felt good about myself because I passed. Um, because I'd been training people, but I figured a certification would help me. Now, in my regular work of mechanics and welding and everything else, I don't have one fucking certification for nothing. But people like my work. So I get this certification. I've read I don't know how many books on the subject, and I got nothing. I don't even think I made business cards and everything. I don't even think I got one phone call to get training done. Point that I'm trying to make here is I'm going to give you the idea of my business was to walk people. I specialized in beginners. I wasn't trying to branch out into people that already had shit under their belt because frankly there's only so much that I have and it was outside of my experience realm. So I specialized in beginners, excuse me. The point that I'm trying to make here is there's a lot of people talking here lately over this shooting, as if this shooting is the shooting that was going to decide everything. Now everybody has to do something. Blah, 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 blah. I get it. People are upset. Emotions run high. And they'll get over it. We'll see what happens in 2 to 3 months. We'll see where they're at. But this is my argument that I put to people that think they need a gun and they need to carry. And this isn't necessarily my idea. I believe his name is Varg Freeborn. I'm going to butcher his name, so I'm not going to say it right now. But this was not my idea. But it's a valid one nonetheless. It's, what is your code? When you wake up in the morning, in your bed, maybe it's next to your spouse, maybe it's alone, it doesn't matter. What is your code? Your home, I apologize. Your home is your castle. Your way of life is just that. What are you willing to do to protect it? Period. This is not a gray area. If you can't figure that out, leave it at home. Be a victim. Because you're going to wind up being a victim anyway. Unless something clicks. But I'm getting there. The point of the matter is I had this conversation. For some reason, older women are the ones that I wind up training the most. Because either people don't listen to them or they're afraid of getting yelled at for questions that they ask. That's just That's just my experience. I'm not saying that's the norm. I'm just saying that's my experience. And after the course is done, they feel 10 times better about themselves. And the point that I'm trying to make here is I had one individual that sat there and she was very religious. Very religious. And she said, well, I will just have to sacrifice myself. I said, you do not have that option. You do, but that you have responsibilities elsewhere, and that's where this ties in. You as an individual have a responsibility, a duty to your people. Be that your wife and kids, be that to those that rely on you to maintain a certain life. That's why you got into this, right? Whether it's through your job, or whether it's because you just decided to make contacts and friends. There is a responsibility and duty that is required. Sorry, I'll try to get that light out of your face. When you walk out the door every morning, you decide, I'm going to engage in the world, and I will tolerate A, B, and C. After A, B, and C, that's it. That is it. There's a whole ton of argument that go in with this, with de-escalation, situational awareness. Situational awareness is the primary of all. But de-escalation falls in there partially, but that's choppy. That's not necessarily an option, depending on your situation. The point is, go out into this world. Live your life. Do not, excuse me, do not take no for an answer. You have a responsibility to get home and be that person you promised to be. And this ties in. If one of those family members or one of those that you are to provide for are, in fact, under threat, you, in my opinion, and I do believe under the Second Amendment and under the responsibility of God, are fully entitled and charged with seeking that threat out and destroying it. And anyone that comes in your way, anyone, I don't care what their title is, they are a party to the threat. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a congressman. I'm not even an instructor through the USCCA anymore. I let that wave long ago. I have no affiliations with anybody but myself. But what I will say is, if you are an individual, especially if your child is in a school that is getting shot up, and anyone, I do not care their title or what uniform they wear, stand in your way, they are just as much a threat to your child as anyone else. Take that one for the record.